Hello and blessings, my beautiful souls. Avalon here and welcome back to my channel. So since we are in December, I thought it might be fun for us to do a bit of a recap. And I'd like to focus that recap on the tarot decks that I absolutely loved working with and that I worked with thoroughly throughout the year of 2024. So I have a list of decks here. I'm going to show you each deck and I'm going to talk a little bit about the deck and why it is that I really enjoyed it and any other information that decides to pop out of my head at the time. So let's get into it. Just a quick one before we get stuck into the body of this video. I just wanted to let you know that I have very few Your Magical New Year Ahead readings available on my website. This is a very popular reading at this time of the year. And so I have quite a few up right now. So if you wanted this reading, get in fast. And fun little fact, I have created a weekly vlog over on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, whether you're paying $1 or you're paying $12, it doesn't matter. You will get access to this vlog, and there will be one a week. I'm up to episode 6 of the vlog, so pretty excited about that. Anyway, on to the video. Okay, so the first deck that I have for you is this one here. This is the Tarot of Echoes by Anna Turian. So I received a copy of this deck in the last part of the year. So I've had it for a couple of months. I have been using it exclusively for my client readings. So if you've had a reading with me in the last couple of months, you will have seen this deck. It is a gorgeous powerhouse of a deck. This one reads so honestly and so well. I've been using it for friends and I've been using it for family and I've been using it for myself. It is so honest. It is so easy to interpret and it just works like a dream. I cannot recommend it enough. It works like a damn dream. The artwork is of course Anna Turian, so I'm biased because I love Anna Turian's artwork. She is the artist for my very own Bone Stone. And so I absolutely adore the art in this deck. I find it to be really vivid. There are certain cards that just really pop and that have such a loud voice. And the illustrations are just so gorgeous. Very fine art, very beautiful, watercolor. Just a divine, scrummy deck to work with. Really an all-rounder. You can use this deck in any setting. The Tarot of Echo will work for relationship questions, career questions, for love-related questions. It is just a powerhouse of a deck and it is so, so beautiful to work with. I absolutely love working with this deck. When I shuffle it, when I lay it out, it's just a delight to see all the cards out on the table before me, and I just feel this sense of joy working with it. So that is deck number 1, the Tarot of Echoes by Anna Turian. The next deck that I have for you, which is deck number 2, it's an unusual one. I love it. It's absolutely beautiful. This is the Muse Tarot by the brand Sacred Creator. So Chris Ann is the artist and creator responsible for this one. The creator responsible, I'm not sure if she did the art for this one. You know, I'll have to double check that. But look at this. Look at this beautiful edging, the back. This is such a gorgeous, bright, feminine inspired deck. It is unusual, it's modern, it's fresh, it's vivacious. That's what I would say. It is a vivacious type of deck. It gives such a great, powerful, sacred feminine reading. So fantastic if you want to, you know, tap into the muse, to the creative aspect of the self. If you want to address any kind of feminine questions, any kind of love-related questions, it really pulls towards the side of the feminine, which I absolutely love. It is just so, so, so pretty to work with. Cardstock, impeccable, like thick and sturdy, borderless. You know how I love myself a borderless deck, one of my favorites. But this is such unusual energy for a deck, and that's why I think I love it so much, because there is nothing like this in my collection. It's all like sacred geometric patterns and like kind of photo quality images, and I don't know, there's just so much color and brilliance to it. Like I find myself, whenever I feel the urge to just flick through it and look at it like a picture book because it is just so pretty. It's so feminine, it's so gorgeous. It is such a fun deck to work with. I've had a lot of fun working with this deck, and I can feel myself, like I started the year working with this one, and I can feel myself reaching for it again here in December because we're in the season of summer. Everything is in bloom, everything is growing, and I just feel like this is the deck that sort of mirrors that, you know, sort of fertile outer world kind of energy for me. Absolutely gorgeous to work with. The court cards in this deck are all landscapes, so if that puts you off, that's something that you should know about. Otherwise, just so much fun. Big shout out to Chris Ann, and go over and say hello to her. She's on Instagram. She's been going through a little something, so we send our love out to Chris Ann, and I just wish her all the best. If you don't know, Chris Ann is also known for the Sacred Creator Oracle, which I love. Such a great oracle deck. This is just honorable mentions. And the Light Seers, which is prolific. It's everywhere. But I hardly see anyone talk about the Muse Tarot, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I've just personally had such a fun time with this deck. And whenever I'm doing a reading for a girlfriend, someone that I know in the moment, they too just get so much delight out of just the general color palette and the interesting nature of the artwork contained within the Muse Tarot. So that's deck number 2. The next deck, deck number 3, is this one right here, this moody beauty of a deck. This is the Viola Lux Umbra Tarot by Layla and Olive. Sorry, I hit the camera then. Like all of Layla and Olive's decks, you have this tea-stained kind of parchment backdrop. It's floral, it's botanical, it's simple yet effective art. And I think that when it comes to the Layla and Olive brand, especially when we're talking about their tarot and oracle decks, each and every launch of a new tarot and oracle deck gets better. So I particularly love the Viola Lux Umbra. It's beautiful, and the guidebook is a lot more comprehensive than the Ophidia Rosa, for instance. At least that's how I feel. But an absolutely beautiful deck. It has got so much poetry and moodiness and feeling and emotion to it. It's hard to describe because the artwork is quite simple and it is quite minimalistic, and yet when you see it all out before you, it makes you feel quite, makes you linger in this space of like feminine art and that moody quality and that creative, energetic vibe. It's very earth and water. It's got such a great little feminine energy to it. And I've got to say, it reads really peculiarly. This is a curious deck. It has a curious voice. It's the voice that is required when you want to puzzle something out, when you want to get to the bottom of a situation, when you want to pull inspiration and meaning from a lesson. This is the deck. This is the deck for that. It's just so fun to work with. This does have a border. The backing is beautiful. Backing is important. So the backing is beautiful. And just the general nature of the deck. It's such good quality, gilded edges, nice thick cardstock, which I'm all for. And all in all, an absolutely beautiful deck to work with. Like I said, poetry, gorgeous, and just so evocative when you work with it. It's also a really interesting deck to do any kind of spellcraft and manifestation work, especially if you pair it with living botanicals. That's just a vibe from a bit of a folk witch. And so that's the Viola Lux Umbra by Layla and Olive. And so that is the Viola Lux Umbra Tarot by Layla and Olive. The next deck is an oldie but a goldie, and you'll know what I mean when you see it. She's the Morgan Greer. Deck number 4 is the Morgan Greer. This is in the tin edition. I've always quietly loved the back of the Morgan Greer little white book. Borderless. that bright 70s inspired art. I have tiny hands. It's perfect for my tiny hands. I always find it really fun when I can get a pocket edition, not too small, but this is the right size. The Morgan Greer is just an OG deck. It's a powerhouse of a deck. It works hard. It's a workhorse of a deck. An all-rounder, really captivating, very direct kind of voice. When you read with this, it's no nonsense, no fluff. It does deliver its messages with a certain kind of sensitivity, but for the most part, it's got oomph. It's got gumption, I find. So it's sassy in a way that other decks are not. So it's joyous to work with. I think it's because of the color palette. Everything is bright, and it's a throwback to the bright 70s and the tail end of the 60s there. It's just such a fun deck to work with. The images are tried and true. You've seen them everywhere. This is a very, very well-known, very famous kind of deck. And so I don't feel like I need to talk about it too much, but I personally love the Morgan Greer. Like, the backing of this deck is just darling. It's so good. And it's captivating, and you just immediately know what it is just from the backing of the deck. But I have a lot of traditional, old world, kind of vintagey tarot because I'm a collector. And I've got to say, of all of them, this is one that I use the most. There is just something about the Morgan Greer that still appeals to me to this day. It feels like I can still connect with it. It's got this quality of like timelessness, despite the fact that it looks dated and it looks aged. So that makes for a really curious experience when you're working with the deck. And so that's deck number 4, the Morgan Greer. All right. I'm going to be a bit biased here, but I'm not joking when I say that I've worked with this deck a lot this year. It's my own deck. It's my own deck. I'm tooting my own horn. I won't talk about it too much. We all know the Bone Stone. We've all seen the Bone Stone. Oh, she's upside down. Oh, yes. Oh, I see. We've got a vibe going. Oh, I know. Okay. Bit disorganized. I have reversals in this. One of my favorite images, just quietly, in my own deck. I think I can say that. But I was hesitant to actually pull this one into this retrospective, this tarot deck retrospective for the year of 2024, but I have, without a doubt, used the Bone Stone so much. I mean, it's my own deck. I feel very comfortable using it, and it still teaches me some lessons. And because I have spent the whole year editing the manuscript for my publisher for the 2nd edition that will be mass produced, I have learned to look at the Bone Stone through fresh new eyes. And so for anyone who wants to know, some of the artwork has changed. And yeah, there's a few changes in the guidebook as well, significant changes in the guidebook. So it's been really fun to work with the deck. I took a break from it and I exclusively worked with other decks just so I could give myself a little break because I was Bone Stone saturated for a minute. I have one of these, a brand new unopened copy up on my website right now, should anyone want it. I'm down to the skerricks of that print and soon it'll just be completely gone. So I contemplated saving a couple and I will, but I have one up on my website right now if you're interested. The deck will not look like this when it is mass produced, okay? So I don't know about the backing. I would like the backing to remain as it is. I don't think it'll have the red gilding. Don't know yet. These are all design choices that are yet to be made, but I'm excited for it. I'm genuinely excited to see this one in a totally different light. So that's the Bone Stone for deck number 5. Well, deck number 6 is the Rider-Waite Centennial Edition. My favorite edition of the Rider-Waite Smith. I'm a Rider-Waite Smith girly. I make no apologies for that. This one is in a tin. My baby sister got this for me for one Christmas actually. And I'm grateful because I do love it. I'm gonna pull out some placeholder cards. The artwork in the Centennial is a lot more muted. And I think that's why I like it. I don't actually mind the bright yellow orange quality of the original Rider-Waite Smith deck, but I like the muted tones. I naturally gravitate to earthy tones, but this deck is honest, it's straightforward. If I had to assign an archetypal personality to this deck, I would say Professor McGonagall. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, you'll know who I'm talking about. If you're not a fan of Harry Potter, I don't know how I can help you. Professor McGonagall. But it's got that vibe, it's got that professor vibe to it. I don't know if it's just this edition. I don't get the same kind of Professor McGonagall kind of energy with other versions of the Rider-Waite Smith, but this one here just has it, and I'm here for it, and I love it. It's quite the teacher deck. It is a great all-rounder, but I find that it takes itself very seriously. Even though I try to push the boundaries of this one, I have a friend who's going through a relationship crisis right now, so I've been throwing cards like a crazy tarot reader, and just pushing the boundaries, like pushing it into having more uncomfortable conversations, because it doesn't love a love reading. It does, but it doesn't. Not this kind of love reading. This one's more salacious. So it will do a relationship reading that is quite prim and proper, but not the salacious types of readings I've been doing for some of my girlfriends who are having crisis right now. So that is the Rider-Waite Smith Centennial Edition, a banger. Okay, so the last tarot deck, which is number 7, that I'm going to show you is Decanted. Now, this is a full 78 card deck, but I split this deck at the start of the year to work with the Mages Only, because when I'm doing my tarot readings, I have a Mages Only deck present with me every step of the way. So I have a Mages Only, and then I have full decks at my disposal, but I always work with a Mages Only. And to do that, I typically just split the deck. Whatever deck I like, whatever deck I feel in the mood to work with, that's the one that I split. Once I've split a deck, I work with it for a long time. So I've been working with this one since February, I want to say. This is the decanted Mages Only version of the Lumina Tarot. Now, the Lumina Tarot doesn't come in a Mages Only version, let me just say. This is just the Mages Only cards from the Lumina Tarot. That was a lot to say. I love the Lumina Tarot. Big nod to Lauren Aletta from Inner Hue. This is my modern, fresh, sexy, kind of Victoria's Secret vibe. I don't know why. I think it's my Victoria's Secret deck. I'm just telling you the feels that it gives me. Okay, so I absolutely love working with this one. It's got all the colors. It's got all the symbolism. It's very modern. Look at that death card. Like, stop it. Just stop it, okay? So gorge. So gorgy. Oh. Watercolor, line art, beautiful, oh, unusual, quirky. Look at the Magician. What a saucy minx. It's got some sexy personality. That's what I love about it. And it's fantastic in its Mages Only. Oh, look at that one. It's just got a little, it's got teeth, this deck. It's got teeth, but in the playful biting way. The good kind of biting, if you know what I mean. If you don't, I apologize. But fun to work with, very clear reader, offers like a bright spark. Every time I pull that one card at the start of my tarot readings for my clients, I just get the good feels because the deck is imbued with good energy. It's very high vibe. I love it. It's fun to work with. It's concise. It is a great all-rounder, although it has a youthful quality, a youthful kind of energy. And so I tend to work with face-to-face clients that are a little bit younger because they respond really well to this one. This one and the Light Seers, but I haven't reached for the Light Seers very much this year at all. This is strictly a selection of decks that I have worked with very, very closely throughout the year of 2024. So it's not that I don't love the Light Seers, because I do, and I do like a great many other decks. This is my, I guess, my entourage. My tarot entourage for the year of 2024, and I love it. This is such a great vibe. This is such a great vibe. The Lumina Tarot. And fun fact, the Lumina Tarot is now mass produced by Rockpool. So it is available to a broader audience. I know this because I was sauntering through Big W the other day, and lo and behold, it was in the book section of Big W. And it had the Rockpool label stamped on it. That's why I know, because I saw it there with my very own eyes. So I was very excited for Lauren Aletta, very excited for the Inner Hue brand, and very excited to see this gorgeous deck in the hands of more people, because she's beautiful. And there you have it, my beautiful souls. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I would love to hear what decks you've been working with. Throughout the year of 2024, what stole your heart? Which was the deck that just kept calling you back, that kept your attention, that kept the focus? I just want to know what it is that you've been working with, because, fun fact, I've also been going through my tarot depth year, or just my depth year full stop. It started off tarot oracle depth year, but it extended out into so much more. So I haven't been buying decks. I've been gifted decks, I've acquired decks, you know, through PR packages and things like that, but I haven't actually been buying. And so I have started to create a bit of a wish list. And so I haven't really been looking at new launches and new decks. And I would just love some feedback, like what's hot, what's cool, what's awesome, what's that must-have, like hot deck on the market right now. I want to hear from you. I want to know about it. Somebody inform me, because I've been feeling a bit stupid about it. So that's my water pump. I must away. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will chat to you again soon. Mwah! Bye.